5-Year Mission, the podcast, episode 43.
This episode of 5-Year Mission, the podcast, is brought to you by Fansets, your home for all things pop culture pin related. Head over to fansets.com and see all that they have to offer. And also stay tuned at the end of the episode for a very special offer from us here at 5-Year Mission.
So I'm in the back room of Hero House. Dale's here running the store. He's up there talking on the phone right now. So if you hear him in the background, that's what that is.
I highly doubt it.
I don't think we'll hear him.
Probably not.
I hear a little background noise, but it's not bad.
He gets a little loud sometimes, so we'll see. But
I'm a little advertising for people to shop at Hero House. So.
Anyhow.
By now you figured out that this is the 5-Year Mission podcast.
Welcome to 5-Year Mission, the podcast, the only podcast hosted by a band called 5-Year Mission. And I know that Chris loves when I introduce the show like that, so I'm going to keep on doing it. Anyway, I'm Andy Fark. I'm joined today by Mr. Mike Rittenhouse, located in the back room of Hero House Comics, 1112 East Prospect Street, Indianapolis, Indiana.
What's up?
As well as Mr. Patrick O'Connor down there in my left-hand corner.
Howdy.
There he is.
Howdy from the practice space.
Yeah. And then down in my bottom right-hand corner, last but also least, Chris Spurgeon.
Bottom left-hand corner.
Anyway, we're going to get right on topic here because I know we all have hard outs and we just wanted to get some things done here. What's that?
We have hard outs.
Patrick has a hard out at 2 p.m.
Let's not talk about Patrick's hard out, okay?
Would you rather me talk about the opposite? Oh, anyway, we're going to get down to business today. We are going to teach everyone how to be a house band because we have some experience with it. And also, we would like to go ahead and announce that we are the house band for Star Trek Mission Chicago, April 8th through the 10th at the McCormick Event Center.
Woo! You should have saved it for the end as stay tuned to the end to hear a special announcement. That way they have to listen to the whole episode.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
You know what? Stay tuned to the end for a special announcement.
He'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
Fark won't.
No, I won't. I really won't.
Well, that's bullet.
You got to start editing these again, Mike.
I'm not here to bury.
I counted on you.
Basically, what we wanted to do was just discuss the ins and outs of being a house band. We've done it before in Vegas. We've done it at multiple different conventions, not so much as the house band, but performing at conventions. And just the weird little steps that we got to take in order to do all this.
So we should start with explaining what is a house band.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Chris.
So a house band is basically like on a late night show where, they announce the celebrity and the celebrity comes out to the house band playing some music that is related to that person in some way. And that's kind of what we do on stage. We're on stage with the MC and where the celebs come out. And when they're announced, we play a little song and then, walk backstage while they do their thing. And we come back and play them off the stage. So that's kind of the house band duties. And every once in a while we'll play a song. If there's a lull, we'll play one of our songs. And that's what it's been like typically thus far.
More or less. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We play a lot of covers, which isn't something we generally do, but we have to play things like the show themes, and we can't just play all of our own songs because not everybody knows that, and they don't necessarily relate to the person that's being presented.
The nice thing is that we don't have to learn full length covers. Usually we just have to learn like the chorus.
Yeah.
And we just play like an instrumental version of that.
we get surprised by somebody who, a celebrity that is like super into the song and comes over and just wants to like be involved in the song that we know 30 seconds
Right.
of.
Then they want to come in singing,
Yeah.
There was the famous moment in Vegas when we were playing the Enterprise theme song, which of
Yep.
course has the lyrics, and then Anthony Montgomery comes over and starts about to sing along.
Well,
and then he
luckily we
changed his
know
mind.
that mostly, especially nobody knows
Yeah,
anything
we know
but,
that one.
the first verse and the chorus anyway. So I think we were good with that one if it did
True.
end up continuing.
Oh, so the times that we've done.
The times that we've done.
The times that we've done.
We lost Fark. Maybe that's for the, maybe that's for the best. Really? I mean, let's.
So the first hurdle for us is always, because our whole history, we've been an original band. And we're not really used to learning covers made to order, So the first part is sort of getting in that mindset of learning somebody else's song and playing it that way. And then the second part of it is, how do we know how long or short to play it? And that completely depends on the convention and how long the guest takes to come out, and whether they sit right down or they run around the stage. We just have to be prepared for anything. So
Yeah, I think I remember the first time we did that. I mean, we took a lot of time. I mean, we took months to really get prepared, because it was totally new for us, and we really didn't know. We had no concept of how long we would need these songs to go on.
Right. We went longer than we needed to in most cases.
We did, and we didn't. The other thing we didn't realize is that, I think we did to some degree, but you really have to choose the right part of the song. Like the chorus isn't always the most recognizable part of a song, and so
there's usually some kind of a riff that's really recognizable.
And so we really had to play off of that a lot, but we didn't know what would work that first time, and it was well, and the other thing we found out once we actually got there was that we had no concept of how loud we were going to be.
Yeah.
And we would play, we started playing, and we're like peeling the faces off the people in the front row. And for us, being a rock band, that's normal, but we had to really adjust for that, because we just didn't realize. We just had, that's the thing. When you first do that, you just really don't know what it's going to be like. And
also, a lot of that is out of our control, because there is a sound man who has the ability to turn it up and down. And our amplifiers sometimes can be like a little loud, maybe for like the front row, but for the entire room, if it's too loud, it's not necessarily our fault.
I was more referring to the people that are getting the stage sound. If you're sitting, especially in Vegas, if you're way back in the back, you're going to get whatever sound that is mixed. But up in front, if we have an amp that's tipped forward, if it's not rocked back and pointing at us, if it's tipped forward and it's pointing right out at somebody in front, or even the drums get loud. So it's there's definitely a learning curve.
Well, let's be fair, the drums are always loud.
Yeah. That's for sure.
The drums always sound great. They're perfect. What's up, Andy?
Every time.
Park's back.
Yeah.
He's a trained professional.
So we were kind of discussing the first time and learning way too long of versions of songs, because we ended up only needing like 15 to 30 seconds, and we prepared like 2 to 3 minutes of every song.
Yeah.
I thought we did more like 30 seconds of every song, and we ended up needing like 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
And I think there were a couple times where we just, we just went too long because we didn't know what to expect. Yeah. And we, Adam would be up there, he's the guy that runs the show in Vegas. He'd be up there, kind of turning and looking at us like, you guys gonna finish anytime soon?
Yeah.
We learned after like the first day or so how it worked.
I think our second day there, what year was that when we were first there? Was that like
2014?
14? Okay.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah, I think I remember when we were doing it, I think Thursday was our first day,
Mhm.
and it just felt like a struggle. And then we got to Friday, and I felt like everything just kind of turned around. Like we figured things out, and then by Saturday, it felt comfortable.
Yeah.
Man, I just remember Thursday just being a nerve-wracking experience, just the whole day.
Yes.
You probably didn't do the penguin on Thursday.
Yeah, rubber penguin, Chris.
That's true. The what the floppy penguin? The
Rubber penguin.
Rubber penguin.
Rubber penguin.
Yeah, that was Chris and I's little warm up backstage as you just kind of bounce back and forth, foot to foot. And then one day we were doing it, and Mike and Denise Okuda were back there, and then Mike Okuda started doing it with us.
Yeah,
And then we all started doing it.
Yeah.
Just kind of a way to loosen up and
Yeah.
be a little
actually
silly. Yeah. I mean, I've used it a lot since because it's a little silly, and I mean, when you get on stage, you sometimes feel a little silly anyway because everybody's looking at you, and you know, there's a lot of expectation, and so doing that prior to going on, you kind of get a little bit of that silly out of the way.
Yeah, it's kind of like how like you'll see newscasters doing the whole like the Human Torch was denied a bank loan, like the little goofy little vocal warm-ups. It just kind of gets you out of gets the butterflies out and everything, and you're just like, this is gonna be dumb. It's gonna be fine. It's fine.
I don't know about you guys, but when the first time we did this, especially, but every time to some extent, it's been sort of equal parts excitement and terror.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know, especially when we do the themes, because on the themes, I do all the melodies on the keys. Yep. And these are not super easy, simple. Especially, you know, like TOS and TNG themes. I think DS9 is a lot easier because it's very repetitive, but TOS and TNG, they just change all over the place the whole time.
Yes.
And, you know, I'll be sitting back in our green room, just like going over these over and over and over again on an iPad, you know, like, okay, just trying to get them in my head after having practiced them ad nauseum already. And so it's because it's when we're playing our own shows, there's a kind of a degree of flexibility where, you know, if you hit a wrong note or if you forget a lyric or something, we can kind of go with it. And we're still familiar with what we're doing. We just, you know, it's okay. It's not ideal, but we go with it. But when you're playing something that's so well known, like, you know, the TOS theme, there's really this, I mean, if you flub, it's out. I mean, it's just this glaring thing out there that everyone notices. And so there's so much more pressure. And at the same time, I think there's a level of
accountability.
Well, it's people aren't there for you, you know,
and you don't want to sour the
you're just kind of background.
You know?
Exactly. You're kind of background. So you do, if there's a little bit of a mess up, it's not that big a deal, but still, well, yeah, like Patrick said, you really don't want to sour the experience. Like you don't want someone walking out and being like, yeah, it was great, except for they totally screwed up that theme.
Yeah, because they will notice.
The nice thing about being there and playing throughout the weekend is we play those themes usually multiple times.
Yeah,
and you know, if we screw one up, at least we have a chance to redeem ourselves.
And like what you were saying, so for a lot of the covers then that aren't the themes, I'll be playing the lead melody that I'm not used to. And usually, I don't know about you guys, but I always go through the songs over and over again before a show just to be familiar. Because I feel like if you are familiar with them enough that you don't have to think about it while you're doing it, then if something goes wrong during the show, it won't mess you up.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? With those, you don't really have that option. Like you're going to be thinking about it while you're doing it. You know?
I distinctly remember. What? Go ahead, Mike.
With a lot of TV show themes, it's not that they usually don't repeat, and they change keys and move around all over the place. And if you get off by just a couple of notes, you just can't get back on because the song is like it's like, you know, eight beats ahead of you, and you're trying to think, well, what am I supposed to play here? And you know, and it's just by the time you figure it out, it's over. Which is what happened with the Quantum Leap theme.
It's
in 2014.
I don't even remember playing that one.
Well, I learned the lead on that, and I remember working on it for months ahead of time and learning it, and we learned the entire thing because in 2014 we didn't know how long we would need to play, and so we ended up only playing like maybe a third of it, but I had like a problem where like my volume wasn't on my guitar when we started, and then by the time I fixed it, you guys were halfway through it, and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to play here. And then it was over, and Scott Bakula was like laying on the couch smiling at us.
Yeah. There's a lot of moments of sheer terror as I'm looking at the keys thinking, oh my god, don't screw this up. With 1,000 people looking at you.
Yeah, and also this is probably, for sure the largest crowd we've ever played to. Like I remember the high point being when Whoopi Goldberg was there. I think it was on the 50th, right?
Yeah.
And every seat in the whole 5,000 seat theater was filled. And we're starting to, I think it was it Jumpin' Jack Flash we were playing?
Yeah.
But, and I've only played that like half a dozen times in my life. You want to be really comfortable in a situation like that, and it was very stressful but very exciting at the same time,
Those are my favorite ones because I'm just like, the key parts are really simple. I think that theme that we did from Orange is the New Black, I think that was the most difficult. That and Cheers.
Oh yeah, I forgot we did that.
Yeah, when we did that one, that was just terrifying. I was like, oh my, if I screw this up.
The Cheers theme is such an iconic theme, like outside of like the Star Trek themes that like can't screw it up because like everybody knows that theme song.
And that was, I'm not, keys isn't my first instrument. That's just kind of what I get defaulted to in this situation. Yeah, that was a nightmare. I didn't like that. It was just, I found it very difficult. So let's not do that anymore. No more Cheers themes.
No more Cheers.
Christy Alley can have something else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the high, is like choosing the songs. Like that was probably one of the more fun things. Like, Cheers theme for Kirstie Alley, Jumpin' Jack Flash because of the movie that Whoopi Goldberg had made back in the 80s, and I was pretty adamant about choosing that one. And then still my favorite one was when we played Simon Pegg onto the stage like last minute with Lucretia My Reflection by Sisters of Mercy, because he used a lot of the imagery and music for it in the movie The World's End. And I had to teach Noah the bass line, actually, because I learned that when I was like 15 years old and just taught it to him backstage. And I was like, Patrick, just make some feedback. Chris, just, do the tambourine. And then he turns to us afterward, like after the song, like before he even started speaking to the crowd, he was like, was that Sisters of Mercy?
Yeah,
I was like, yep. And he was like, thank you.
One of my favorites was when we played Robert Duncan McNeil on with Short Skirt, Long Jacket.
Oh, in Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, because he's the executive producer of Chuck.
That's a great riff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. And he really appreciated that.
It is really cool when the people that you play on notice that you've put some effort into it. And, I know that we have a couple times when we've done it, we got suggestions or requirements that were given to us, from
songs
CBS that we had to play. And I never feel like those come off as well as when we put some effort into finding a song, even if it might be more obscure to the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
If we put in effort to find a song that works with the celebrity and they like notice it, and that's pretty rewarding. Like, okay, we've done our job here.
Yeah. I mean, we know our band and what we sound good doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when somebody picks like a jazz standard that's completely out of our experience, it's not going to come off as well as like a, a nice pop rocker that we can really nail the riff on,
Or something like Just the Two of Us.
Oh, God.
Actually, I thought Just the Two of Us was fun. I really liked it.
It turned out much better than I thought it would.
Yeah,
it was an odd choice though.
Yeah. Still also one of my favorites was playing Walter Koenig, and who was with him that day?
It was
Harlan Ellison.
Harlan Ellison.
Yeah. We played them on with Back in the USSR, and they came out dancing with each other.
That was
Yeah.
fun.
That was definitely one of the big highlights of that year.
Yeah.
I remember you telling Harlan Ellison you wished that he was your grandfather.
My dirty grandfather. Yeah, he was definitely out of all the guests, all the Star Trek alum and everything, like Harlan Ellison is definitely like my favorite guest that we've interacted with over all these years.
I think Ellison was one of mine too.
Great.
He was, you know what? He didn't, he was very cordial to us.
Oh, yeah.
And just seemed like he enjoyed us being there and appreciated us being there, which was nice.
Mhm.
Jeff Combs is the same way. I think that was the first year we were there, and he was the one celebrity out of everybody that came out that actually, after he had had his panel, instead of just walking off, he came over to us and made it, just introduced himself and said hi and thank you. And that was really, I mean, we have met him again since, and he just seems like a great guy. But I think we don't get a lot of that. We get a lot of kind of, passing
Thanks,
appreciation, and which is great. But it's really nice when we get it directly.
I liked that Whoopi came over beforehand and met each of us and shook our hands one by one, and like, didn't just like walk past and was like, "Hi guys."
Yeah.
She took the time to say hello to each of us.
She was a real highlight. I think that I never felt as much charisma in the room as when she came in there. Any other experience. Yeah. It was just magical when she came on stage.
Yeah, that's another thing about being the house band. A lot of people are thinking it's like the thing you have to remember, most of the celebrities that we're meeting backstage are like 5-10 seconds long, and that's pretty much the interaction, because by the time they're heading on stage, we're already up there waiting for them, and by the time they get off the stage, we're still up there.
Well,
my wife likes to tell the story about Simon Pegg, actually, that she sort of grabbed him as he came off stage so that he would wait for us so we could meet him.
Yeah.
And basically this look of fear in his eyes when she sort of grabbed his arm and she's like, "No, come this way. I'm not going to hurt you. Don't worry."
Well, and a lot of the celebrities have handlers, and some of them have a little entourage with them, and they're not really, and I totally get it, they're focusing on what they're there to do, and that doesn't involve us. And so that is
they're there to keep us away from them.
Like, from time to time you'll have us standing in the back waiting, and then a celebrity will come in early. I remember Kate Mulgrew did that one year, and she was sitting back there and kind of chatting with us while they had a like a cosplay panel while we were back there. But that doesn't happen very often. We don't get a lot of that.
It's interesting, the difference between some of the celebrities, how they interact with us backstage versus other ones, because some of them are like that, where they have a handler and they like hardly even look at you, and then other ones will just stand there and talk your ear off. Like Garrett Wong or the guys from Enterprise, like they'll just stand there and hang out for like 20 minutes because they like the fans and they think it's cool.
Yeah, just chat.
Yeah.
I had that experience with when we did just the two of us panel, actually, with John Delancey and Denise Crosby, and I was really excited for Delancey, and he just kind of walked by, didn't talk to anybody. Whereas Denise Crosby, I wasn't super excited to meet, and she was just so friendly and so outgoing and really nice to us. So it really changes your feeling about people.
Well, it's so funny because you're never quite sure what you're going to get, like Frakes and things like that. He'll just kind of mess with you and chat and stuff like
Frakes
that.
Is I mean, even on the dealer floor, he'll come by and is always like really cheery and, "Hey guys." I always enjoy seeing him.
But Chris, you mentioned Kate Mulgrew just hanging out backstage during that cosplay panel. It was a makeup tutorial because that was the year that they had like a sponsorship in Vegas. And I'm just sitting back there watching it on like the same view screen that she was. And she just turns to me and just like starts up a little conversation. And then she goes, "What are they doing out there?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a whole makeup tutorial. It's kind of like for cosplayers and things like that." And she was like, "Do you understand this? Do you get why people do this?"
She seemed very confused by something that you would think that she would have seen
Should
a
be
lot
used to
of.
by now.
Yeah, cosplay seemed to just, the fact that people would dress up and just walk around like that. She seemed very confused by it. It's like, why is this confusing for you? I think it's, we're back there, we're dressed up, but we do it professionally, obviously. And
ours is fairly simple.
But what was funny was there were, actually some people that we know that were standing back there in full cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, why are they doing this? I'm just like, it was just one of those humorous, weird moments that happens there. But she was super nice. I mean,
mm-hmm. And then it's like the people you don't quite like think are going to be like, stopping and chatting and stuff. Like there was the day that when Terry Farrell was just hanging out in our green room with her son.
Yeah,
that was a very surreal, just to have Jadzia Dax just sitting back there chilling.
See, I missed that.
But then you got to get kicked out when Nichelle Nichols wants to eat a sandwich.
No, it wasn't a sandwich. They actually set up a table and chairs and a tablecloth and everything, and we're in there like feeding them like a
family
chicken dinner.
Yeah,
it was very strange.
So we should probably talk about how sort of we had the green room right by the stage because it was just made sense because we had to be on and off stage so much throughout the weekend. Yeah. So we would be the ones in that room all the time. So every time a celebrity showed up, they would stop by that room pretty much.
Well, there's two green rooms. And there's a stage door, and right across the hall from there, there's two green rooms, one of which is for celebrities and one of which is for us. But
that one doesn't have a bathroom.
Right. That like ours. Wait, what? Yeah, ours doesn't have a bathroom.
No, ours had the bathroom.
Ours had the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, ours had the bathroom and theirs didn't, and so they would always use our bathroom.
Yeah.
That's right.
One of my favorite interactions was when I put that sign on the door that said "all you can eat shrimp," and Brent Spiner came in and he like laughed at it, like that. That was like one of the greatest moments of my life. I made Brent Spiner laugh.
Oh no, you forgot the tail end of that one because you put number one $2, number two $5, all you can eat shrimp $29.99. And then Spiner laughed at that on his way in to use the bathroom, and then on the way out he comes out licking his fingers and goes, "That was delicious."
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, he said he had the shrimp. Mm-hmm. You know what we should have, if we ever end up in that situation again, we should put a sign-in sheet so we get everybody's autographs as they go to the restroom.
I think we discussed that last time. Yeah. Well, now that we all have like nice video phones in our pockets, we should have people video check in. Be like I'm Jonathan Frakes and I'm going to go take a number one.
Number one, I order you to take a number two.
That's right. Well, we don't want them taking number twos in our green room.
No, we don't.
See, people,
no defecation in the green room.
You see people who are in charge of Vegas. This is why you need to bring us back. This is the quality of content that your stars will receive backstage.
That's right.
We are pretty entertaining backstage. I think we're very. I mean, we're very. Hospitable in our green room. Who was the woman that came? She was on Seinfeld.
Melanie Smith.
Yeah, and we took the picture with her because she was the shrinkage.
Yeah.
Person from Seinfeld. So that was fun. We get these random celebrity encounters as well that we don't really expect, and that's fun.
Yeah, that's always a good one. Now let's go, because we're announcing that we are the house band for Chicago. Star Trek Mission Chicago, brought out to you by Reed Pop Enterprises. They did Star Trek New York. They've done like a lot of the Star Wars celebrations. Looking at the guest list, do you guys have any guest that stands out to you that you're like really looking forward to meeting?
I'm super looking forward to seeing Doug Jones again. I haven't seen him. We used to do, when we did the Chicago Wizard World conventions, we used to go talk to Doug, and he's from Indiana.
Ball State, graduate.
We just had, it was always fun talking to him, and And I even, I've seen him here in Indy a couple times and said hi, and I'm just looking forward to seeing him. I don't know, it's been a long time. I mean, it's been probably, I don't know, it's been a long time since I've seen him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he even remembers who I am, but it'll be cool to see him. Get a Doug hug.
Oh,
I have to say Will Wheaton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
seen him in a while either.
Yeah, last time we saw Will Wheaton, I saw him here at Indie PopCon when he was a guest, but the last time we played him onto a stage was also in Chicago for one of his panels.
Yeah. And he's another one who like stood there and hung out with us for like 10 minutes beforehand.
Well, yeah, Will's known for being like a big music guy anyway. Yeah. Like over the pandemic, he did a thing called punk rock karaoke, which had like ex-members of like Agent Orange and Dead Kennedys and stuff. And he actually did a karaoke version of Police Truck by Dead Kennedys. And he's just always posting stuff about music on his Facebook and Twitter and everything. And it's just kind of neat to meet like a fellow music head that also, we grew up watching on television.
Yeah.
Mike, do you have any others you're looking forward to that's on the guest list?
Pretty much everyone from Picard who's going to be there. There's a few of them, right?
Oh yeah. Issa Briones that played Soji. Yeah, she says she's going to be there. And then Raffi and everybody. I can't remember all the actors' names off the top of my head, but yeah.
Yeah, the show is still so new. Like I haven't really learned not only the character names, but especially the actor names. The guy that flies the ship, the pilot, the captain, whatever. What's his character's name?
Rios.
Yeah. Is he going to be there?
I don't think he has been announced yet.
Okay.
If he is going to be announced at all, I should say.
If he's going to be there, that's cool. I really like his character.
Yeah.
I still know him as Isaac from Heroes.
That's right. Yeah.
That is, I knew he looked familiar.
Yeah, he was the painter. In the only season of Heroes, he was the painter.
Yep. The one season of Heroes that they made. Yes.
Yeah.
He got his brain sucked out by Spock.
That's right. Yeah, one thing I'm looking forward to is that we have not done one of these bigger conventions since Discovery premiered. So I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of the Discovery cast, especially Anthony Rapp and Sonequa Martin Green, mainly because I've loved Sonequa. Says, yeah, she was on The Walking Dead and everything. Let's get that out of the way. But one of her lesser known roles that a lot of people seem to forget is Rhonda from New Girl. And I just want her to play a prank on me so bad.
So you want to get ronded?
I want to get ronded. Yeah, I think a lot of people just forget that I just did a New Girl rewatch over the pandemic. So I was like, oh crap, I forgot she was in this in like 4 or 5 episodes. Oh, I hear Dale in the background. Tell Dale to stop trying to sell new comics and get people more towards the front of the store to buy the back issues.
For collectibles.
Just get a calendar.
The front of what store, Andy?
Hero House Comics, 1112 Prospect Street, Indianapolis, Indiana, heart of beautiful Fountain Square.
We've mentioned a lot of our favorite experiences as house band. Are there any that you guys haven't mentioned yet that like something that you really loved?
Oh, I know one. The great keyboard incident.
Ah.
When that was for the 50th, right?
Yes.
And Max Grodenchek, he played in
Rom.
He played Rom on Deep Space Nine, and
You mean this guy?
Yeah, that guy. He is what is it? What do they call themselves?
The Rat Pack.
Yeah, they do like a Rat Pack style show, and I don't remember what happened, but somebody's keyboard didn't make it there, and so
it blew up.
Oh, it blew up. Okay, so they
soundtrack.
were without keyboard, and so Max gives us a call. He's got Andy's direct line. He calls him And he's like, here, do the thing, Andy.
Andy, oh, please tell me that your keyboard is still here from your shows.
Yeah, so he calls us in a panic, and we still have our keyboard because it's not like we have people trucking it around for us.
Yeah.
we got to schlep that stuff on our own
Everywhere.
and so we come running into the auditorium with the keyboard, and got a standing ovation, and that was everybody was really excited that we had it. So that was fun.
And then we got to hang out at the side of the stage for their entire show. And Armin Shimmerman kept coming over and hanging out with us.
Yep.
Well, didn't we get to go up on the catwalk too?
Yeah. We were just kind of all over that little backstage area.
Yeah, we had a couch back there.
Yeah, that's right.
Chilling on the couch backstage while they were having their show. So that was nice. Who else is in the Rat Pack? It's isn't Jeff Combs one?
Casey Biggs, Jeffrey Combs, Armin Shimmerman.
Yeah,
Okay. Right.
Those guys are fun to watch.
Yeah, they're all really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
It is kind of it's a long haul as far as being the house band, because you have to be prepared for basically 10 hours a day, mostly nonstop throughout the day. And I just remember, you get in a certain rhythm, where we're kind of waiting backstage, we go on, we come back off. But I remember there was one time where I was really tired, and it was like maybe the third day in a row, kind of 2/3 of the way through the day. And I was just like sitting in the green room with my head back against the wall, kind of half awake. And suddenly I started hearing William Shatner giving an interview on the other side of the wall. And it was so weird because it sounded like he was in my head. It was like literally right on the other side of that wall from where I was.
You're just dreaming it.
If I remember correctly, Thursday you get there and it's all, you got all this adrenaline and it's just, everything goes really fast. And then Friday you're settling into a rhythm. Saturday, there's just so much going on and you're just driving.
It's just a blur.
It's just a blur. And then Sunday is just pure exhaustion. Like you've been out Friday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights.
Of course,
night.
We're specifically referring to being a house band in Vegas. It's different at other conventions because there isn't so much late night partying.
Vegas,
Saturday night is just, at 3:00, you're like, maybe I should go to bed, and then Sunday is
5 o'clock's fine.
Oh my God. Sunday's rough. But you really are exhausted. And the last time we were at the 50th anniversary, that was the last time we were there in 2016. Mm-hmm. And that year, not only were we exhausted, but all the flights got redirected and we ended up we were sleeping in the Vegas terminal, and then they put us up in rooms, and the next day they sent us to Detroit and we had to drive home. Yeah. So I remember getting home and I was just spent for days. It was
the Indianapolis skyline never looked so beautiful to me.
Man. Man, it was, it's all worth it, but man, it's hard work. That's for sure.
It's exhausting. Absolutely exhausting. Like one of my favorite / least favorite memories, I guess I'll call it memorable, was the first year that we were the house band in Vegas. And there was a sign in one of the hallways that was hanging kind of low, and I decided it was going to be a good idea to try to jump up there and try to slap the sign, like people will do, and wound up throwing out my back. And so I was just laying on the floor of our green room, but on top of that, we had eaten, I had gotten the spiciest Indian food in the world. My stomach was bothering me and my back was dead, and I just had to keep on hey, they're ready for us out there, and I had to just get off the floor just
and that was on a Friday too, or a Thursday or Friday, because we went to the Indian restaurant early on. I remember, and if you ever, I remember that you were miserable.
If you ever eat at that Indian restaurant at the Rio in Las Vegas,
size of rice,
and they ask you, would you like some rice with that? Right. Understand that you're paying $7 for a little bowl of rice.
Rice all around, please.
Yeah, because everyone was like, sure, I'll take rice. Yeah. And we ended up with
here's your $600 bill.
10 sides of rice.
Large bill.
And yeah, I'm really hoping that the food choices for Chicago are going to be a lot better because, man, that was way too big of a bill.
The other thing about the Vegas hotel is that everything is about a third bigger than it is anywhere else. Like you go to sit at a restaurant, the room is a third bigger. The plates and the silverware are a third bigger. Like everything is just bigger than normal. Wherever, like the chairs are larger than what you're used to. Like everything.
Well, getting anywhere. I mean, you know, we're. I think last time we were there, we were in one of the. There's like two towers. And we're in the tower opposite of the hallway where the convention center is. And so you got to trek all the way across the casino and then down this long ass hall and then through like the lobby area and then around the back to where you get the stages. And it was just, you know, if you got to
like a half hour walk.
If you got to go get some lunch,
it's like a mile, you know? like a mile of walking.
It's a lot of walking. And, you know, in the morning after a long night and you're, you know, drag assing down the hall, you know, trying to get there in time. Yeah, it was, it's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot to do.
There are special,
but it's fun, man. It's a blast.
There are special benefits.
What were we gonna say, Mike?
For being a house band, like when they have the parties, like usually on Friday and Saturday nights, they'll have like these special parties up at the top of the tower on the, you know, on the top floor. And you have to have like a special pass to get into it, like a captain's or a gold's or whatever they call it. And of course, you know, we're just random guys, but all we got to do is tell the guy in the elevator, we're with the band. And then they take us up to the party.
We just say we're the house band. And they were like, oh, okay, well.
And we've gone up to the party like each year that we were there, even though we weren't. I mean, we were actually playing the party the second year, but the other years,
2014, we played the party.
Yeah, and we got to go up. I remember going up to that and
15,
and somebody had this giant like chocolate tower covered in strawberries, and they ate the strawberries or whatever, and they were like
the tower. They handed me the tower.
Yeah,
and I ate like 2/3 of this thing.
You did.
Gigantic.
Well, that was one of the early rules we kind of figured out doing that, especially just like pretty much any convention. Walk around like you belong there.
Yep.
Yeah. You can pretty much get in anywhere if you just look like you're supposed to be there.
Don't tell everybody our secrets.
I know, right?
I mean,
this is how to be a house band. They already have to be a band to begin with to accomplish these things.
So basically, this is going out to like 3 groups of people that we know.
we're looking at you, Boldly Go and Warp 11,
and the Roddenberries.
Well, the Roddenberries already played Vegas.
That's true. Yeah,
they already know.
Actually, so did Warp 11.
No, that was one in San Francisco, not Vegas.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I thought it was Vegas.
Yeah, that was another creation.
It was a creation when
So we did the first year that we played Vegas was 2014, and then we were there as the party band for 2015, and we spent the day at our booth, at our merch booth each day, and then we were there for the 50th in 2016, and then we did I think the following year we did the Chicago one, right? Or was it 2 years after that? So
I think it was 2017 when we did Chicago.
Okay. Yeah. So we did a good, few year block there where we were house band somewhere at least once a year. So we haven't done it in a while. So I'm looking forward to getting back and doing one. Although I think this one will be a little bit different. It'll be, especially when you're working with somebody new, you never know how it's going to be ever.
Right.
I mean, no matter how many times you do this, you're working with somebody new and they have different ideas about how things should be done. The nice thing about playing Chicago though, is that we don't have to load our gear into a plane. And that is such a pain in the butt. Taking all of our gear on a plane. It's so, I mean, you're standing in line and you have, like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bags each. And you have to load guitars and all that on the plane. That's a nightmare.
I remember one of the things was we would have to switch the weight around. and everything to make
Yeah.
sure all of them were under like 50 pounds or they would charge you extra, you know, and
Yeah.
it just took us like half an hour to move things around to get them to match the weight.
Such a pain. We had to, and then we get there and we have to, the shuttle, like we have to get a big, did we have to use 2 shuttles or I feel like
we did 2,
didn't we?
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And then we're trying to check in and we have all this gear that, I mean, we don't have any place to put it.
But by the time we get everything where it needs to be, we're exhausted and it's not even the first day yet.
Yeah. It's like Wednesday and we don't start until the next day. And it's just like, oh man, we haven't even done a sound check yet. So it's pretty exhausting.
That actually, they do provide usually a backline if we're flying out to like Vegas. And so we don't have to bring drums or amplifiers, thankfully. But that first year that we did it, we got there and they didn't have anything yet. And they I think they finally got everything we needed like 20 minutes before the first panel.
Before it started.
Well, and they were supposed to have keys.
We didn't even get the sound check properly.
They were supposed to have keys and they didn't even have the right keyboards.
Yeah.
And so I remember that. I mean, it was the first time doing it. And I just remember being a little bit frantic. And I was just like, am I going to have what I need before we have to start? That was scary. And then I had a keyboard, but I had to invent what I was using. I had to like find all the sounds before, like, the day of. That was scary.
Yeah, it's always a thing. Especially now that we're going to be working with Reed Pop for this house band thing. I don't believe they have had a house band before either, so it's going to be a learning curve for both of us, for both Reed Pop and us, because we've never worked together before. And luckily enough, we're bringing our own gear. They just have to mic it up and everything, but still figuring out with them how often we're playing, what we're playing, everything like that. So
hopefully the sound person that they're providing and the equipment is sufficient.
Yeah. But
I have to say though, it's nice that we have done this a few times before.
Mm-hmm.
And so I at least feel like we are comfortable in the situation. So, I mean, we've worked with plenty of promoters who had absolutely no idea what they were doing. And we just had to kind of guide the situation. And so I think that we're pretty good at rolling with the punches, and just kind of doing what needs to be done. So I'm not too worried about it, but yeah, I agree. It's definitely going to be a learning curve again, because we have to adjust for what they need and they'll need to kind of defer to us for some things, I think.
Yeah, the nice thing is that we've had experience doing this. They have not, and it's not like we want to go in there and like tell them how to do it, but basically be like this is how we've done it in the past, and like here's a suggestion and things like that. So basically, that like we can help them move along too, but also we'll be there to enhance the congoers experience, because this is going to be a big one. And plus
it gives them the opportunity to not worry about it. Also, like, we know what we're doing, so you don't have to worry about this aspect of it. We've got it covered, kind of thing.
Right.
Hopefully they'll defer to our experience.
Yeah, we'll see. So far it seems like they're pretty open to suggestion when it comes to like the way it's going to be done. So
no, we want you two on that end of the stage, and the other two can be on that end of the stage. Can we just put the drummer in the back behind the curtain?
Yeah. Well, that's where you guys always want me, out of the way.
I mean, the first year we did Vegas, there wasn't a drum riser, or it was just us on the stage right next to the opening where people came out. And then the following year, I can't remember the name of the band that was the house band that next year. You guys remember? It
was that the Sons of Kirk year?
No. It was
it's not the Rodberries.
No, I can't remember who it was. But,
I just remember they were playing some like really heavy like metal stuff, introducing people, and I was
that's
thinking,
right.
This isn't right at all.
They're the ones that played Blister the Sun, right? No, that's Sons of Kirk.
No, that was Sons of Kirk that did that. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. At any rate, I think at that point they had a riser, and then when we did it again, it's like every time we did it, they learned something new, and it got a little bit better. And so I think I kind of expect the same thing at this, where it's not going to be a perfect situation. And we're just going to have to kind of go with it. But then if they have us do it again in another convention, it'll be, we'll take what we've learned and
collectively.
Yeah, exactly.
So essentially, how to be a house band. The ultimate lesson is just hire 5-year mission.
That's right. So you don't have to worry about it. We've done this before.
Listen to the ego on Mike. Well, you guys want to wrap this thing up, and you guys got any parting thoughts or parting hopes and dreams for Star Trek Mission Chicago coming up 8th through the 10th at McCormick Center?
Well, it'll be nice to be. I think all the other times we've been in Chicago, we've been out somewhere not really Chicago proper. We've been, outside the city, and this one is McCormick Center is just south of the where the aquarium and the
Adler Planetarium.
Yeah, the
Right.
planetarium are. So it's right there, kind of at the southeastern edge of the city. And so that'll be nice, being right there. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And there'll be a lot more opportunities for us, in the evening to maybe go out in Chicago someplace. Yeah. And not like like an airport hotel,
Right.
We drive down the streets. I think the nice thing about being out there was Giordano's was right down the street. So we went there all the time. But we have Giordano's here now, so it's
not the same.
It's not the same, but it's not. Yeah. I think anywhere we go that we really like going all together is kind of, has the same vibe for us.
We always have a good time when we're all together. I'm just looking forward to being back at a convention again, since it's been so long, and it'll be good to see everybody. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people at this one that we know, that we're friends with, like Trek Geeks and Jim Morehouse, and a lot of other fan sets. A lot of people that we know, that we've been working with or friends with for several years, and we haven't seen them in a while, so that'll be fun. And just to be back on the stage, because I mean we haven't done hardly anything for the last 2 years, so this will be
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
2 years
since the world's been on fire. Yes.
Yeah. Which I was going to say that earlier when Chris was going on and on.
Thanks.
The one big difference at this convention is that it's post-pandemic, where all the other ones we did were before the pandemic. So it'll be interesting to see what's changed as far as the procedures, and we don't really know what to expect, because they may have special requirements from us because of that.
Right.
I understand what you're saying, but I think calling it post-pandemic might be a little premature.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. I don't mean that it's over. I'm not assuming that the pandemic is over.
That's why I said I understand what you're saying before I said that.
Thanks for giving me a bunch to edit out there, you buttholes.
You're welcome. We know you won't do it.
Shout out to Debbie Renke, our con mom, who's going to be there.
That's right. I actually
and her husband Rich.
Actually broke the news to Debbie a couple days ago. She was like, I was thinking about renting a car while I'm in Chicago and driving down to do fittings for your guys' formal dress uniforms. And I was like, don't rent that car, because we're the house band.
She sent me the same thing. I said something similar.
Okay, good job.
I think she asked me early in the week if Savannah and I were going to be at the convention, and I just said yes. I didn't say, that we were there as the house band. I just said yes, we're going to be there.
I'm just telling everybody in private. Well, I think that's going to wrap things up. We will see you guys in Chicago, April 8th through the 10th at the McCormick Event Center for Star Trek Mission Chicago 2022.
Woo! Hey, do you miss getting new content from 5-Year Mission? you should head over to patreon.com/5yearmission and check out our Patreon page. As a patron of the band, you will receive access to rare and behind-the-scenes pictures and videos and other cool stuff. You will also have early access to many things, like video releases or new songs. You can sign up for different levels, from ensign all the way up to admiral. One of the perks of being an admiral on 5 Year Mission's Patreon is that you get to be a producer on this podcast. Currently, our producers are Neil Carpenter, Helen Lake, Debbie Rinke, Carol Jones, Becky and Roxy, Steve and Frankie Palopoli, Madison Rachel Jones, and Jim Morehouse. Your name could be on this list if you sign up as an admiral. So head over to patreon.com/5yearmission now. That's the number 5 Year Mission.
You guys know that company, Fansets.com? Yeah, Fansets.com. They're your home for all things pins and fan danglers and everything. Let's talk about 3 brand new releases in the Star Trek realm from them. Waxana Troy, Adira Tal. They are definitely becoming one of my new favorite characters on Discovery. Now you can have them in pin form. And also, speaking of favorite characters, Matt. Thinking to yourself, who the heck is Matt? I was too, but it was one of my favorite characters, Matt, one of the dolphins from Cetacean Ops in Star Trek Lower Decks. Oh my gosh. Come on and swim with us. Anyway, head on over to fansets.com, fill up your cart, enter the discount code 5YEARMISSION, that is the number 5, and then all caps Year Mission, 5 Year Mission. You can get 10% off of your entire order. And be sure to go see them in Chicago, because I know we sure will. Fansets. Our pins have character, and we thank Fansets for sponsoring each and every episode of 5 Year Mission, the podcast, here on the Trek Geeks Network of Podcasts.
Thank you for listening to this episode of 5 Year Mission, the podcast. If any of you are interested in listening to more of our music, you can check us out on YouTube or Spotify or iTunes or pretty much anywhere that you can listen to music. Just search for 5 Year Mission and we should be the first thing that comes up. If you would like to contact us in regards to the podcast or anything else that you want to talk to us about, you can email us at 5yearmissionband@gmail.com.
And for more information about the band, you can go to 5yearmission.net and also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
5 Year Mission, the podcast, is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network at trekgeeks.com or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.